Hey family, how you doing? How you doing? We are live.
On. Hey, family. Yes, we are
Uh,
live with this impromptu quick session of King Talk to,
Most
dis-
definitely.
to discuss with you of our upcoming part two on religion, which will take place on Wednesday, May the 26th at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, live from Facebook here, live from the Facebook King Talk page, and from YouTube on
From the
King Talk
YouTube
platform.
page and on my page, uh, Alexander Ayahuas on my page. It'll be live on that particular platform too. So yeah,
Mhm.
as you know, my esteemed co-host Cortez just said, it'll be the second part on religion, that sort of thing. It'll be focusing on the outer delusion. First of
Mhm.
all, the title is called Religion, the Great Divider, the
Mhm.
Part two, The Outer Delusion. Shout out to that family member that's there. That's you know that is joining us right now. We're just going. This is just an impromptu discussion about the upcoming segment of King Talk, and I was just going into the title of it, which is called Religion, the Great Divider, Part two, The Outer Delusion. The first part we focused
Mhm.
on basically how religion affects us individually. This particular segment will focus on how religion affects us
Collectively,
collectively.
yeah.
So it's the outer delusion and how it affects our, how we move, as a unit, as a
Mhm.
people. And so much of what that so much of what that is coming to light and coming to for that sort of a thing, for us as a people, how we move as a people, that sort of a thing, how we move. And so, you know, it is what it is. Hold on, let me click this real quick, just in case somebody was trying to make like some maybe made some comments, whatever. Somebody was in the chat room. They're not there now, so
Right. Well, we have to
go ahead and hide that sort
well,
of
yeah.
thing. But yeah, so how we move as a people, how we function as a unit of related to how we, are we going to be able, to get things done, that sort of a thing.
Yeah, we're gonna
So
be
yeah,
we have to talk about snapping us out of this trauma trance, as Dr. Cleo Monago calls it. The fact that we keep romanticizing our oppression, and that keeps us stuck in this never-ending merry-go-round, as I call it. It keeps us on this never-ending merry-go-round, spinning around and around and around in circles, where this ride is never going to stop. We're going to stay stuck on this damn merry-go-round, going around in circles, never getting off. Because every time we think that we're about to get off and finally be free from this shit, something else happens to pull us back into it.
right.
They
And
make sure,
to
yeah.
just, basically what that is, what a lot of what keeps us stratified as a people is our, pretty much in the way that we view, uh, our spiritual beliefs more
Yeah.
so, that keeps us, as my esteemed co-host was saying, on that merry-go-round of delusion.
Hmm.
Basically we're the hamster on the wheel and we're just going around and around and around and around in circles. And like I said, how we move,
Hmm.
as a people, that sort of thing. Um, and I'm sorry, Cortez, I didn't mean to, I just wanted to kind of like interject and just kind of,
Right.
uh,
Well,
you know,
like earlier, there was a Doshan actually sent Doshan, who was a professional journalist, sent a story to my inbox that was on Instagram, which I posted on Facebook. and I believe I tagged you're one of the people that I tagged in it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about this young black boy who's 7 years old, a first grader who apparently may have committed suicide.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because he was in an all white school, the only black child in the black class, and these white first graders were berating him, calling him blackie, calling him ugly, and they destroyed his personal property. And the teacher, of course, she participated in this, and she, you know, pushed him his desk away from everybody else, you know. Um, and my thing is, on this thread, people are talking about, they blame the parents and they blame the school. People say don't blame the parents. Well, actually, I blame the parents. I blame the school, the faculty, and everything. And I also blame the black parents because to me, it's very irresponsible for any black parents today to put their black child in an all white anything.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you putting your black child under those fucking circumstances? I don't care if you move to some so-called all-white community. Why the hell did you move into an all-white community anyway? And why are you going to put your black child in the middle of that, especially when you know what goes on? Why would you put your child around all white people? Nobody that looks like them is around, just for all white people. Why would you surround your black child around that? You should put your black child around black people who are affirming, black people who
Mm-hmm.
do affirm black people. Teach them to love who they are. You're not teaching them to love who they are by surrounding them by Caucasians. And then also the first day that your child came home, instead that he was being mistreated and abused like that, he should have been immediately removed from that school.
Mm-hmm.
I would have not sent my son back there to be continuously mistreated. I would not do that. And to me, it's very irresponsible for black parents to do some shit like that. To send your child back there. If he told, if when he told him that, they sent him back there again. To me, that's irresponsible to put
Mm-hmm.
him there. And you have, and think about this. This is a 7 year old, a baby who committed suicide, who they then committed suicide because of this harassment and everything. And it was said that he told one of his parents that he told them, you know, that he was tired.
Mm-hmm.
He told one of his parents that he was tired of being treated like that. He was tired and fed up. He couldn't deal with it anymore. Why would you put your child under that? Why would you send him back to that? I don't
And
understand.
we will never understand it.
And that right
Mhm.
there is another example of that psychosis that we're talking about.
Right. And that's what I was about to go into. We will never understand it, family, unless we start really, really, truly taking a very, very serious look at our history and taking it, as we've said many times here on King Talk, we take a look at our history, we take a look at how we're educated about our history in this particular country, this nation, you know, how we're educated, here, that sort of thing. So it's you know, it's how we are educated. A lot of the problems, since you brought up education, brother, a lot of the problems that we face is because of the lack of things that we're educated on as per our history as Melanites here in the United States of America. And if that doesn't fundamentally change, then we can't really even, attempt to correct the overall problem, or shall we say, I would say, like the original infraction that were put on our bodies, put on our souls, put on our minds as a people. And that's why we keep arriving at the same place, and there is no real change. We just keep arriving at the same place, whether individually or collectively. We keep arriving at the same place with the same things happening over and over and over again.
On
And, and a part, and a part of
that
that,
merry-go-round, on that merry.
right, a
Uh,
part of that is how, lies in what we're taught. And a lot of that lies in our belief systems and how our belief systems affect our self concept, how they affect the way we think about ourselves, how, the legacies, that we're left with as a people, which a lot of them are shattered, that sort of a thing. And it is what it is, because if you have, people who, or if you have a collective people who are on a sense and on autopilot, as far as our belief systems are concerned, then there can be no spiritual progress. And without any spiritual progress, where are you going? You ain't even moving. You
right.
you have the illusion of moving, and there's no movement really, really, truly at all. So that's what we're going to talk about, family. As we're going to talk about how religion really has us stratified, how it has us, in this delusional mindset of inaction, apathy, uh, desensitization, that sort of thing. We got to go into those particular areas and talk about that because it
Talk
really, really, truly does affect the way that we operate collectively as a people, for better, you know, or for worse, or what some people would say, because I see, that a lot of us are just indifferent. We don't even care.
mm-hmm.
It's not even something that's really, really important. We're just really just looking at our own game and how we're going to move up in the system and that sort of thing. We have at least grown to a point where we're looking at least our individual spiritual trajectories, but so much more so we're not looking at the way that we move collectively in spirit and that sort of a thing. And so being a very, very highly spiritual people, I would even call us the people of the most high, and being very, in a sense and in essence, spiritually complex. And what I mean by that is, you have different factions of of Melanites here and around the world who believe differently, who believe of, I might not see things, in the way, that you see things
Mm-hmm.
as far as our spiritual belief systems are concerned. But that does not necessarily mean that we can't still unify, for our collective health and our collective, equity, that sort of a thing.
Well,
So,
there's a misperception that you can't disagree with your people on some things and still put your people first.
mhm,
That's a bunch of bull because every other race does it.
mhm,
Um, Asians don't all agree on everything, but they put Asians first and the well-being of their people first.
mhm,
Okay, European Jews, every individual European Jew does not agree on everything, but they put their people first. Okay, um, and they don't let the world see them attacking their own people. Whatever disagreements they may have, and they have disagreements, whatever disagreements they have their disagreements amongst them in private, not in front of the whole world. We, on the other hand, we will attack each other in front of the whole world, and
mhm,
will invite other races to be a part to come in on that and help attack another black person instead of handling it between us. We put our shit out there for the whole world to see us attacking each other, and they love that, and they would join in on it. And we invite Caucasians and other races to come in to attack another black person instead of us handling them ourselves and trying to heal the situation amongst us. We keep inviting other people in, and like I was saying, my point is that these other races, they do have disagreements. They don't agree on everything, but what the one thing that they do agree on is that they put their people first. They are race first. They put their race first. They don't get caught up in little petty disagreements about religion and or whatever else. They know the number one priority is to put their people first, to put the economics of their people first, to put the health of their people first, and whatever else. Um, that's what they do. We have this misperception that if I don't agree with you as another black person, we can't be friends or we can't talk or, get away from me and all this bullshit. No, we got to stop that. We have to realize we don't have to agree on everything to put our people first. We owe it to ourselves. We owe it to future generations of black people and the upcoming generations of black people to put us first. We have to do that. One thing we wanted to talk about before we got off here, I know you wanted to talk about the brother Ronald Green, who
Donald
was
Green, and I really wanted just to bring that up, family, because it's just another situation of the same thing happening over again,
mhm,
where the cops were directly responsible for his transition or his death. They killed him. It's right on camera. That sort of a thing, right on video. For you to see, for everyone to see.
and of
They
course,
have eyes to see,
mhm,
and it's just I only think the only reason why I wanted to bring that up was the plain and simple fact is that the same thing keeps happening over and over and over and over again. Then related to what you were saying, brother, about the Asians, who you all know, which just is probably going to open up a whole nother can
mhm, mhm,
of worms, who y'all know just got a bill signed into law
right,
protecting them from you know terror, so-called hatred being and violent attacks and hateful attacks being perpetrated against them and perpetrated against their own people. So, you know, in essence, family, what they're doing is they're just doing it right in our face now. They're coming completely out and saying, this is what we think about y'all when they go and they pass these bills, knowing of our history here and knowing what we've gone through and continue to go through as a people here. They will sit there and they will say, as Mr. Biden said, that he's very, very happy about this bill. He's very, very happy about signing it. Uh, and as to all of the other Asian people out there, we see you and we feel you and we feel your struggle
mm,
and that sort of a thing. And I don't
mm,
mean to laugh, family, because I'm not being flippant, but the brazen, just the brazen ignorance of that when you have a whole another faction of people, which you said you was going to have our back, and you have it. And
mm.
like I said, not so much, to open up a whole nother can of
Well,
of madness, but it's still the same thing. The same thing keeps happening over and over and over and
right.
over
Well, I
again.
want to,
And we're sitting
yeah,
back, but for some reason, though, for some reason, they want us to, and like I said, I'm not, trying to, paraphrase. I'm a paraphrase right here and say, make the, you know, make your own decisions as far as your health, is concerned. For
right.
some reason, though, they're really, really pushing
Hmm.
that we put, the big V. I'm just gonna say the big V in our bodies. You can get that.
Right.
You can get
Well,
that, bro, but you can't get any type of law or any type of amendment, whatever,
I
passed that
yeah.
will collectively protect us from the continued terrorism and attacks and not just on one level that have been constantly levied against us as a people since the inception of this particular nation. So
Right. Well, yeah, I want to say something right quick about Ronald Green and also about the whole Asian thing. With Ronald Green, mind you, he was actually murdered 2 years ago in 2019. Now, they kept part of this video footage hidden for 2 years. It just came out. They tried to hide it, what they did to him. And this videotape just came out recently showing what they did. This this police cam footage showing how they murdered him. They blatantly murdered him. And what you said about how it reminds you of what I talk about it being a merry-go-round, it's the same thing that came to my mind. I'm like, here we go again. It's never going to end. Like on that thread on Instagram, about the young boy who murdered himself that we talked about earlier, somebody asked that question on that thread. When is this going to ever end? When is it going to end? It's not going to end until we end it. We got to try to separate ourselves from this shit. And I know it's not easy to do that, but have to we have to begin to start planning and strategizing to remove ourselves from this system, because this system was never created to be for our benefit. It was created to be against us. And in reference to that um, Asian bill to specifically protect Asians, it's a blatant slap in the
from
face.
Asian hate.
Right. It's a blatant slap in the face to Black people, and not saying that Asians should be hated on. No, they should not. But to me, a lot of that stuff was trumped up. They made it look bigger than it was. I don't think there's a drove of people out here attacking Asians, and it's certainly not a drove of Black people attacking Asians, because you have Asians with their stores in our communities, and Black people still go in there every day and support these Asian businesses. Now, they were able to get through a bill to protect Asians with no problem at all. I think it was only one person who voted against it, right?
Mhm.
Now, they've tried to get a bill to ban lynching through before, and it did not get through. They still have not outlawed lynching. So think about that. They could get a bill through to specifically protect Asians, but they won't put through banning lynching, which, we are the main ones who are known to be lynched in this country.
Mhm.
Okay. So the fact that they won't ban lynching should that's kind of like right in our face. They
It's
ain't
in
even
your
should put
face. As I said,
uh,
it's they're blatantly, in a sense, basically saying we only really want to use y'all for what we want to use y'all for.
hmm
And as I pointed out on the last, I, I, I I think it was the last segment or the last
hmm
impromptu segment that we did. On either one of those segments, I pointed out that that's what you are. You came in as a commodity,
hmm
and you're still being seen and used as such. And then
hmm
you got these newfangled Negroes that are sitting up on, one is the vice president, the other one, was a senator, who have completely revised the whole history of this particular nation when they're saying that racism, this is not even a racist country. You're not even you're not even living in a racist country, fam. You got the vice president, who's Asian now. I guess she was black. There was all
hmm
brouhaha about whether or not, she was black or not. Well, let me just go ahead and clear that up, family. She's Asian. The black don't even come in there no more. Maybe she was black, but she was trying to get into office and she was trying to get black people to vote for her. But she's not, she's Asian now.
I
It's
mean,
no black. It's no black in there at all. It's no melanin. It ain't none of that crap up in there. And then
well,
you got the other one, Tim Scott, who's basically your really really deeply get out style programmed Negro who's just going to spout what's been downloaded, into him. That sort of a thing. You got both of these newfangled people saying that country ain't racist at all. So
Right.
you got some of us who are just on a whole new revisionist type of history. That sort of a thing. And so it's relative to delusion, it is what it is. Because if you ask Tim Scott what his religious beliefs are, more often than not, I'm pretty sure he's going to say Christian.
Mm-hmm.
And if you ask, what's her name?
Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris. Well, more often than not, she's probably going to say that she's a Christian. And part and parcel of what our stratification and our stagnation as a people here is because of the delusions that we carry within our belief systems that don't empower us at all as a people, but keeps us right where we are as a people, pretty much going nowhere, thinking that we're going somewhere, but going nowhere and having the same things done to us again and again and again, and then on top of that, keeping us divided amongst ourselves. And so we got to, look into that area. And I just wanted to say real quick, because we are coming up on a half an hour. I just wanted to say real quick that this is not about bashing anybody. It's not about bashing your belief system. It's basically about using history and using what it is, that we know to bring things to light so that we can empower ourselves. We can empower ourselves. We can heal ourselves. We can raise our self-concept, our spiritual self-concept, and we can expand the Black mind.
Mm-hmm. Well,
into some healthy areas.
With Tim Scott and Kamala Harris, right quick, it's not a coincidence that they both are married to Caucasians.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying that any Black person that is married to a Caucasian has never spoken out. Occasionally, you may get somebody that does that, but for the most part, most Black people who marry a Caucasian tend to forget about trying to empower their people.
Mm-hmm.
And they will not speak up because they will try to coddle white people's feelings. And as far as her being Black or not, yeah, her father may be Jamaican, which is Black, but she don't really give a fuck about her Jamaican blood like that. That's the point. She don't really care about her Jamaican blood. And she said straight up when she was asked before the election, I forgot who it was who interviewed her. It's the clip out there where she says they asked her was she going to do anything specifically for Black people, and her response was no. That's how she said it. No, I'm not going to. I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm going to do anything specifically for Black people. But yet, you and Joe Biden has done something specifically for Asians.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you've done something specifically for Asians. Joe Biden um, signed an executive order specifically to protect transgender people, but he has not signed an executive order to specifically protect Black people who've been being attacked for over 400 years.
Mm-hmm.
So so y'all can skirt all around the issue all you want to. Y'all can try to hem and haw and sugarcoat shit. To me, that's he don't really give a fuck. He does little things here and there to make you think that he cares. He'll throw a little tidbit our way to make us
Mm-hmm.
think that he cares when he really doesn't. And another point about the delusion of that our people are under, an delusion, is the fact of how Tim Scott was responded to versus how Kamala Harris was responded to, but for basically saying the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Tim Harris, Tim Harris said that this country is not racist, and he was, berated and called names and made memes about and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Kamala Harris basically said the same thing, but people excused her saying it and saying that's not how she meant it and all this other bullshit.
That's exactly what it was that she said. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
only going by because we don't make up stories here on King Talk. We don't make up stories here. only going by what she said.
Hmm.
And you heard her, and I heard her.
Yeah.
And
My,
so this is a whole new revisionist history that you have here, that's going on with these two. At least these two particular, you know, well, I don't know what they call themselves now. I guess they're not calling themselves black.
hmm
Like I said, with her, she's just pretty much just Asian. But
hmm
this whole revisionist history, which you have a good deal of the faction of the Republicans that are pushing the same thing. They want to go back and they want to completely revise the history as related to our Holocaust here as a people that's been happening since the inception of this nation. And it's been continuing and happening still to this very, very day.
yeah.
It has
So
not stopped. It has not abated. It continues to happen and it continues to move on. And it's related to the religion. A lot of it is related to the religioso structure, of this, particular nation. And, what was resonating in those conquerors' minds when they got here on the shores of America.
okay, yeah. And so we're gonna talk about what we can do to try to snap out people out of this trance,
Most definitely.
snap out, snap us out of this trance of thinking that oh, we'll be free one day when we when we die. Why we got to die to be free?
Hmm.
We're the only ones who
Or,
say that
or something else is going to come
to save us.
to save us
We
and set us free. We got to take that's another particular delusion
yeah.
that's
Well,
got to be put
we
to
keep talking
rest
about
people.
we keep talking about Jesus is coming back to save us, and God is coming back to save us. Well, our true higher power has given us the power to save ourselves, not
Hmm.
sit around waiting for the higher power to come back and save us, because we have that power within us to save ourselves.
And
You
and
know,
somebody told me, brother, and I found this, myself, to be true,
hmm
that God helps those who what?
help themselves.
Who help themselves.
Hmm
And God can't even love you unless you do what? Unless you love your what? Unless you love yourself.
Love yourself.
So
People will
if you
say,
want
yeah,
to even taking it to that particular direction, it's still the same thing. The
right,
onus still lies on you.
right. I mean, we will say, God did not give us a spirit of fear. But then yet we'll turn around and say, "Oh, I can't do this and I can't do that because they will punish me." Like I was told, you know,
Mhm.
you shouldn't speak out like that because you don't want to make it to a certain level and you get your big break, and then they look up and see something that you wrote and they decide to take it back from you because white people have the money, white people have all the power. So you shouldn't speak out like that because you got to bow down and scrape because white people have all the control. That's basically what I've been told by some black people who will turn around and say that God has not given us a spirit of fear, but yet we're afraid to stand up against racists and to remove
Right.
ourselves from this racist society. We're afraid to remove ourselves from this racist society. It doesn't make sense to me. How can you say that you believe in a higher power that doesn't give us a spirit of fear, but then you turn around in the next breath and you're afraid to make a move because you don't want to offend Caucasians? And secondly, first of all, let me say, because I know I got to go, we both got to go, but you know, how can you
I don't have
say,
to go, but
yeah, I know, but okay, but I got because I got to get on another call, but I'm sorry, but
it's okay. Just go ahead.
how could you say that you're um that God doesn't give us a spirit of fear, but then you turn around and you're afraid to make a move because you're afraid of how white people might perceive it. And I wanted to say right quick, I haven't said anything that I'm ashamed of. I've never once got on Facebook or anywhere else and said, I hate Caucasians and we should go out here and do something to Caucasians. I've never once said that. So I don't have anything to hide. I don't have anything to be ashamed of. I never once came up on Facebook and tried to encourage anybody to be violent towards anyone. Okay. I've only simply talked about self-defense. That's all I've talked about. That we should protect ourselves when we're being attacked. The same thing that Malcolm X said, who I call my honorary granddaddy. That he's accused of being violent. But Malcolm was never violent. He was never violent towards anyone. He talked about self-defense. He talked about how we should stand up for ourselves when we're being attacked by racists. When when they're beating us up beside the head and sticking dogs on us and giant water hoses on us and stuff like that and stomping us out, that we shouldn't just lay there and take it, that we have every right to fight back. You know, that's
Right.
all I've said. I've never encouraged anybody to go out here and just be randomly violent against the Caucasian. So I
Just
don't have anything to be ashamed of or hiding. And second of all, I don't even want them to have that fucking type of control over me anyway. Okay, telling me that you got to be careful with how you talk because white people have all the power, white people have all the money, and you don't want to make it to a certain level and get your big break, and they find out something that you said and they come back and take it from you. Well, first of all, I don't want them to have that kind of power over me. Okay, that I can't stand up and speak the truth about what's going on in fear of them taking something from me that I earned. I don't want to live like that. That's why I'm, working. I like black people working to build our own table, so we don't have to worry about not being able to stand up and speak the truth. Here we are coming up on next weekend. We're coming up on, the 100th anniversary of Black Wall Street, the Black Wall Street race massacre, where they came in and attacked our people. One of the many times they came in and attacked our people, simply for our people coming together and working and building something powerful. So they wanted to destroy it. We're coming up on the 100th anniversary of that next week because that happened.
very,
That
very, very highly uh, great day for us as a people in terms of what we were able to do and what we still more powerfully are able to do even now.
hmm
We can do that. And of course, what happened when we did resign ourselves to unify and then go and build for ourselves and create equity and create liberty and empowerment and all of those good things, that a great and a mighty people should have and that they duly deserve. What
right.
happened? And
hmm
that's what we're going to focus on, family, to try to, go ahead and draw this up. We're going
Right.
to focus on what happened, how we got here, you know, with looking into our religioso and our spiritual beliefs so that we can take that and then resign ourselves to, create a mindset that we can even build an even bigger and a better and a greater Black Wall Street. That it doesn't have
Yeah.
to be in one neighborhood. It can be in many, many different neighborhoods. That maybe we can create, Blackadonia, before it's all over with.
Yeah.
That's sort
Definitely.
of thing. And so that's what it's about, family, and that's what we're going to do. As far as what you were saying, brother, about you don't want you don't hate is not really we're not really when you look into us and we look at our histories, we're just not that we're not on that barbarism like that.
hmm
Yeah, we
And
went to
first of
war
all,
and we did things that we needed to do in war, but that whole bloodshed, just for the sake of, bloodshed, just for the sake of, just the bloodlust of just wanting to see blood flow, that's not in our spirit as a people.
right. And first of all, it's
It's
like I
not. It's what we don't always have to. Only thing I'm saying is we don't always have to paraphrase and say, you know, the hate, ain't no hate in my heart. I don't get
right.
up, trying to see who I'm going to bring down that day or who I'm going to attack
Right.
that day. More often
Well,
than not, when I get up, it's more so about truth and okay, what am I going to focus on nowadays? And well, what am I going to focus on today to make my life better and make the lives better of the people who I love?
right.
That sort
I,
of a
right. Yeah, I definitely have to go. But what I wanted to say about that right quick is that I don't get up, and the reason why I felt like us to specify um, that I'm not sitting around hating anybody, it's not because I'm worried about what Caucasians think, because I could care less. My thing is, I get accused of hating white people by black people. I've had other black people tell me that dumb shit. You hate white people. No, the fuck I don't. First of all, it takes energy to hate. Okay, it takes energy to hate, and
You
I'm
fully
and,
explained
and
yourself, brother.
right,
I'm
right, and
just only thing
no.
is I
Let me finish right
understand.
quick. Let me finish right quick because I want to say this for these people out here. Uh, I it takes energy to hate. Okay, and I'm honestly not wasting my energy on them, hating them. When I, like you said, when you get up in the morning, you focus on certain things. When I get up in the morning, I focus on empowering and healing our people. That's my focus. Not focus on trying to do anything to those people. That's all I want to say. That's all.
Right. And the only thing I was saying with that is a lot of times, and I understand where you're coming from, brother. A lot of
Hmm.
times, those people you just gonna have to not pay them any, mind or any, any or give any type of energy over to them for the plain simple fact is they just, if you really, really look at our history as a people, we don't do stuff like that. We don't
Right.
kill and maim and rape and pillage and torture out of just, just for the sake of bloodlust itself.
Hmm.
We don't do that. And
Right.
we've never done that as a people. All over the
Hmm.
whole entire world, in the entire diaspora, we don't do that. If we hunted because we wanted to, we needed to have something to eat.
Right.
That's sort of the thing. We needed to feed, our families and our tribes, our various tribes or whatever, whatever we did, it was always, in a sense, had a spiritual foundation to it that made it a spiritually practical thing to do and a
Hmm.
spiritually humane thing to do because we understood that there were laws of nature, that we did not want to violate. And
Right.
so you would
Well.
never find that amongst us as a people, just heinous, just hating people and just, you know, just for the
Hmm.
sake of it.
Hmm.
Maybe with some of us now on that particular level because we've been around of who we've been around and what we picked up, because you do pick up energy from others from being around them and being and just constantly languishing under whatever what they have put us under.
Well,
So
we turned it on ourselves, but then we can talk about that on Wednesday.
most
We turn,
definitely.
we turn,
So
we turn. We should be turning it on them, on our own people. But yeah,
right.
but
Rather, like we should be turned. We shouldn't really be. We should just dispose of it. And if
yeah,
they
what
want
I
to,
meant by
if they
that,
want to, we should just dispose of it. And if they want to live with it, let them live with it. But we shouldn't be putting it on ourselves. We shouldn't be putting it on one another as a people. And if they want to live with it, let them live with it.
well,
But leave us alone to live as we are naturally and predisposed to live as a people. And when you look at us and you look at our history, we are a peaceful and a loving people.
right. But when I said turn that energy, the energy on them instead of using it on ourselves, I just meant that we should be able to stand up against whatever they're trying to send our
Right,
way.
right.
I didn't mean go out there and attack them or whatever. But anyway, but we just need to stop killing our own people out of self hatred and out of
I,
frustration.
I
That's
feel
all.
we should just focus on not putting it on ourselves and not putting it
Hmm.
on one another as a people and let that other faction, as far as them is concerned and what they do, let them, because you see what's happening over in Palestine and Israel. Just
Right.
let them
But
do what they were doing to one another as a people before you know
right,
they resigned. They was going to start doing it to us,
right,
and that
right.
has a religious
Well,
origin as well.
okay. Well, I gotta go because I'm late for this call. So
Okay, brother. Because you were supposed to be out of here by
right, I gotta right.
3:05. But when the
Yeah,
knowledge goes, the knowledge goes. So we're gonna
right.
make this our family. I'm just gonna say, go ahead and I can let you go now, brother, and I can just go ahead and finish this out and just go ahead and just let you go.
Okay.
I'll just do
Well,
that. So, you know, go
all
ahead.
right. Well, I'll see
I'm finishing
y'all.
up. Just go ahead and go.
All right.
Okay.
Well, I'll see you all on Wednesday. Bye, fam.
Okay, take care. What I'm saying, family, is basically, yeah, just join us on this coming Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. In there will be a link in the description of anybody who wants to come on and build with us, during a certain segment of the show. Anybody that wants to come on and build with us and come on and build with us, that sort of thing. If you have like any questions related, to the subject, or the topic, that we're talking about, you can ask those. If you have any grievances that you want to put out, whatever it is, as long as it adds to the positive nature of our build. If you have disagreements, you can come with those too. you know, if it adds, to the positive nature, of our build, definitely come on. The link will be in the chat, for you to come on, the King Talk Black page and discuss, this particular very, very important topic related to, to our spiritual beliefs, of what I would call religion, on, this upcoming segment of King Talk. Like I said, at Wednesday, 6:30 p.m., May 26th, 6:30 p.m. at Eastern Standard Time, this sort of a thing. So I'm, definitely ask you to join us. Definitely go to the I should be posting up on in the King Talk Black page. Also on my page, Alexander Ayahuas, I will be posting the link for you guys to go and support us on the King Talk page on YouTube. To go to, we really, 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 truly need a lot of support for that particular, for our YouTube page, for the YouTube algorithms that, because the YouTube algorithms really, really, really do work, with you going there and you liking, the video, well, enjoy the content first, and then, of course, like the video. But, if you are just feeling generous, give us a like and give us a subscribe, so that we can continue, to bring it supports us, to continue to bring you excellent content, that you're getting here, on King Talk. But I just want to thank the family that some of the family that have come in, to just join us, however, briefly you were here, you came here, to join us in a sort of a thing. And we are always grateful and appreciative at King Talk. Also want to thank the family for all of the support that we're getting on the King Talk Black page on Facebook. We're going, almost up to like 500 followers. If we can get those same people to go over, if we can get those, almost 500 people to go over to our YouTube page and like and subscribe, all of the video. I think we got like more than 5 videos up on there now, to go and like, the content and subscribe, that sort of thing. It will really, 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 help us bring more. It can help us expand, and it, help us bring more of what we're really, really trying and endeavoring to bring here, at King Talk, that sort of thing, to bring you more, and that sort of thing. And we're about empowerment. We're about healing and eradicating, the divisions, that we have amongst us as a people. And that's pretty much, that's it. I've said enough. So I am Alex Ayahuas. It was great to be here. My esteemed co-host, he had to go. So I'm just finishing this out. Like I said, just join us on this upcoming segment on Wednesday. I'm gonna say it again. Wednesday, May the 26th at 6:30 p.m. We'll also be having 2 guests who is going to be joining us. Family, we have the our esteemed, reoccurring co-host. His name is Brother Deshaun Farad. He will be with us. He will be joining us. He's an excellent journalist. He does his own thing. He also has a YouTube page that we're going to announce that night. Go and support him. And then we have our queen, our reoccurring guest, Queen Kenya Chase. She will be with us here as well. So it won't just be me, or my co-host. It will be 2 other very, very. We have 2 other powerful guests who will be building with us on that particular night as well. And we're always very, very happy and very, very, grateful, to have them, here on King Talk as well. That sort of a thing. So, thank you to them. So it's going to be a great, great, great discussion, family, and come in. You're sure to be empowered. You might learn something. You might learn something that you have not, you never that you may not have heard before. Um, so hopefully, I'm gonna say, hopefully you guys are enjoying your Sunday, and I will see you this coming Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. And y'all be careful out there, and love y'all. Peace.